Hi students, this is Kathleen Bomback, your instructor for English 1302. I finished grading all the annotated bibliographies and I tried to mark up as much stuff as I could so that you could do rewrites and resubmit for a higher grade. There are some of you that I asked to come in and see me because it might be easier for me to show you and help you directly. If you don't come see me, at least go to the Writing Center for help. You also might go back to the handouts for the annotated bibliography assignment and look for the sample annotated bibliography. I only did 3 entries, but you have to do 8 to 10 entries for your paper. When you look at your annotated bibliography, compare it to the sample. On the sample, I put in all the word instructions for correcting formatting, correcting line spacing, what you're graded on. Remember, it's 25% for your citation being written correctly, 25% for your credibility assessment, which if you used peer-reviewed literature is pretty straightforward. You just say that it's peer-reviewed. If you use something that was not peer reviewed and stuff you find from associations on the internet, magazines, newspapers, news sources are not peer reviewed, you need to explain why they're credible. Now, a lot of them, they're credible because of the number of years they've been in the business. And they're an advocacy organization, but one that puts out factual information. They have, say, a medical board. If it's a newspaper or a news source, certain sources are considered more credible by reputation. For example, BBC is considered very reputable, but you do have to explain why you consider that source credible or trustworthy or believable. So some of you, when you use sources that were not peer reviewed, didn't explain what made your source credible, and you need to do that. That was 25% of your grade. 25% was based on your summary, and the summary I had said 2 to 6 sentences. That doesn't mean you met the minimum by just writing 2 sentences for each source. You need to write more than that for most sources. That's why you have a range of 2 to 6 sentences. The more you write, by the way, the more helpful it is for your actual paper because you're going to be able to take a lot of that text and put it directly into your paper. Finally, 25% was for your statement of how you were going to use that source in your paper, what information you were going to use. The summary needs to support that statement of use. For example, if you say you're going to use an article for the data and statistics in that article, but your summary doesn't mention that the article contains data and statistics, then your summary is not supporting the use. So there's got to be a relationship between how you're going to use it and make it specific and what information is in the article. So some of you need to go back and work on that. Technically, you have till the last day of the semester to turn the rewrite in. It's probably better you turn it in sooner than that. For one thing, if you didn't write enough, you're going to have to do a lot more writing for your actual paper because remember, you can create a draft of your paper by rearranging your sources in terms of the points you want to make. Each major point you want to make in your paper should have 2 to 3 sources to back it up. You can use the same source in multiple locations in the paper. You do want to pay particular attention to doing your in-text citations, as well as you have a references section. The bibliography is called References in APA. So you'll have a references section where you'll copy and paste all of your citations in alphabetical order. And by the way, your annotated bibliography should be in alphabetical order. So I tried to write as much as I could on the actual papers and in the message box. And I'm here to help you during my office hours. No problem. We can make an appointment outside of office hours so long as I don't have another class. And I did write that on a lot of people either come see me or go to the writing center. But it's important that we get these things fixed because there's really no reason not to get an A on this assignment, even if you do have to rewrite it to get that A. Okay, moving on to your paper, your research paper, which is due, I believe, on the 18th of October. The research paper is based on your sources. If you look at the presentation, you'll see you're going to rearrange all your materials by the points that you want to make. And for each major point that you make, you want to explore 2 or 3 sources to support that major point. Now that you've read a lot about your particular topic, you should be able to have figured out what are the points you want to make in the research paper. Now, the research paper does have to be 8 to 10 pages of text. That does not include the bibliography, the references section, the cover sheet. Um, I just found out APA just released a new version and they are dropping the requirement for an abstract for student papers. So if you want to just delete the abstract page, you're more than able to do so and not do an abstract. Um, because that is a major change, not having to do them for student papers. So, but it'll now be acceptable to not do an abstract for a student paper and instead page 2, repeat the title and then go directly into your introduction. With a paper this long, you can have an introduction of 2 or 3 paragraphs. Remember to write a thesis sentence at the end of your introduction, and the thesis sentence needs to cover everything you're going to write in the paper. And the conclusion, again, it can be 1 paragraph or it can be 2 or 3 paragraphs when a paper is this long. So I'll leave that up to you. And again, the paper itself is also a rewritable assignment. So even after you turn it in and I grade it the first time, you will be able to rewrite with all of my comments and submit it for a higher grade. Okay, so if I told you to come visit me, come visit me. And even if I didn't tell you to come visit me, but you have questions, come visit me. I'm here at Valle Verde campus. If you are at another college or university and you're taking this class, your college or university is going to have a writing center which can help you. We can also work on the phone, so you can call me at 915 831 2135, or we can Skype if you prefer to do that, and if I can crank the old Skype engine up because I don't use Skype very often. So anyway, I'm here for you. Get to work rewriting, and let's get these scores up into the A range, which is doable, very doable. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good week.